Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We are live. We are live. What's going on, guys? Hopefully you're keeping well. Hopefully you're keeping well on this fine Saturday afternoon. I say it's fine. It's weird weather in the UK. So it's cloudy, it's overcast, but it's humid as hell. And I like the sun. I like that type of heat, but humid heat just gets to me. It drains me. It just saps the energy right out of me. So yeah, I thought I'd do a quick live stream. I live stream. I was a bit more active in the week. I uploaded 4 videos, maybe 5 videos, something like that. But my prediction my preview for Virgil Ortiz versus Stanionis proved to be asinine because Virgil Ortiz pulled out. That's getting concerning now, I would say. Pull out once, fair enough. But, this supposed illness has hung around Virgil Ortiz for quite some time. And I'm assuming that's what's caused this issue making weight. He first reported having that illness after the Kavalauskas fight. That was in 2021, I believe. 2 years now, just over 2 years. The fact that this may be still hanging around doesn't really fill me with much confidence that Virgil Ortiz can be a success going forwards. I'm hoping going to 154 alleviates that and it enables him to fulfill his talent and potential. But right now, I would say there are reasons to really doubt Virgil Ortiz. There are reasons to really doubt him. First and foremost, I would like to say, main thing is he's a young man. Obviously, I see him as a boxer and I want to see him fight, but hopefully he gets better. Hopefully the illness isn't playing a big factor in his life. Because again, he's a young man. He's 25 years old. So fingers crossed he's okay. Fingers crossed he's okay. Young Revival, what's up? Albanian Boxing Nation, what's up? No bump of K, bro. No worries. I've not exactly been streaming super regular. I need to get back active on this channel. I do. But the issue is with this channel, like, the other one takes up time, obviously. And I've just not got the desire to talk about, like, boxing gossip or anything like that. I like to talk about things that are coming up or at least are scheduled. So I've been debating for many months now where do I want to take this channel. I know I need to be like better in regards to production values, things like that. I'm not a good editor, but I can put in a lot more effort in regards to like how I make videos, things like that. But for a channel like this, it's just time consuming. It's very time consuming. For a boxing channel, I always just really I used to try and go for activity over quality in regards to production value. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. But we'll take. Listen, I'm never gonna let go of this channel. This is the original channel, and I get far less issues on this channel as well. Put it that way. So it's kind of stress-free uploading on this channel. The other channel comes with so much fucking ball ache. Like YouTube have been completely fucking me recently. Like fake copyright claims, things like that. I had to like delete my last video, re-upload it, which kind of just fucks it. Plus that one got age restricted right away anyway, so that fucks the video. But yeah, YouTube have been fucking me no Vaseline recently. Am I watching the UFC? I'll watch a replay. I'll watch the main event on a replay. Volkanovski versus Rodriguez. I think Rodriguez is dangerous. He's a dangerous guy, but I expect Volkanovski to have too much. I'm going to go Volkanovski 4th round stoppage. Tyson Fury is his own worst enemy. He's going to fight a stage 3 cancer kid next. Yeah, Tyson Fury is what he is, man. I'm sick of Tyson Fury. I have my critiques of Anthony Joshua, but if we are to believe what's been put out there, Joshua fought Franklin in his comeback fight in April. He's fighting Dillian White in August. And apparently he's fighting Deontay Wilder in December. For a non-champion, how can Anthony Joshua be outperforming Tyson Fury, the WBC so-called lineal champion? That's not good enough. Listen, you can dislike Anthony Joshua. I'm not a big fan, but you have to be honest. You have to be honest. Tyson Fury is holding the division up. He's not active. When he last fought, he fought fucking Derek Chisora, a guy who's got more miles than a 45-year-old street whore, you know, selling a fucking cunt for crack money. Tyson Fury is fucking up right now, and I'm glad that fans are finally starting to call it out. I'm glad fans are finally starting to call it out. Because again, I have my reservations about Joshua. There are certain things in his career that I've not really appreciated, certain things he said as well. But at this point in time, I've got more faith in him taking fights I care about than Tyson Fury. So I've just got to be honest with it. Do you know what I mean? Big up, Mike. How you doing? Big up, Del. I'm doing good. If we don't hear an official reason for the Virgil situation, I think it's fair to say it's for Larry Holmes. Well, I said that in my video. I came out and said it. The illness he's got has been reported in... it has been reported as a rare side effect for the safe and effective procedure that the world underwent a couple of years ago. Again, maybe I'm putting two and two together. I hope that's not the reason. But, you know, it's not like it's a common condition anyway. Feeling better? Yeah, I'm feeling better, yeah. Bro, I say that though. I say that. YouTube fucked my last video, so I had to delete it and re-upload it for a start. So that was a ball ache. Then I started writing the script on the next video just after I re-edited the old video, which didn't take long, but it's just stressful. So I re-edited it, like done the re-edit so I could upload it again. I've just uploaded it. Then I started writing a script for the next video. I had a fucking power cut, so I lost it all. So I had to start again. I've got up to where I previously got to and a bit further. So I've caught up, but fuck me, man. This day was supposed to be relatively relaxed. Because the next video I know a lot about anyway. I don't really have to do all that much research. It's on La Barbie, Edgar Valdez Villarreal. And the first narco execution video. That's what the next video is about. I was going to do something else, but the way YouTube have been fucking me recently, I'm not going to risk it. But yeah, fuck YouTube. Bro, I don't know where Florian Marcu's at these days, bro. I don't know where Florian Marcu's at. Has he been injured? I'd like to see him fight again. He's fun to watch. Yeah, Ortiz needs to move up. Yeah, maybe. I've got a feeling, though, JD. I've got a feeling there's more to this Virgil Ortiz thing than meets the eye. That's just my assumption. That's my intuition speaking. I've got a feeling there's more to that situation than meets the eye. Your old Dar, nice to see you, man. Yeah, Rodriguez is a good fighter, man, but Volkanovski, I think, is just too good. But yeah, is taller, he's longer, he's a crazy striker, crazy kicks, etc. You never know. But I think, yeah, Rodriguez is one of those guys who's going to start well due to his flashy kind of style, unpredictable style. But once he's put into a hard fight, I think you'll start to see him lose his shape and Volkanovski will get on top of him. I think it's going to be competitive until it's not, basically. And then Volkanovski takes over. What's up, Lee? How you doing, bro? Good to see you. G-Man! Big up G-Man as well. By the way, check out G-Man's second channel. By the way, G-Man, I've not forgotten about shouting you out on the second channel. YouTube, I don't know whether you was here, but YouTube in the last couple of weeks have been fucking me. Put it that way. So I need to make sure I use the notifications okay. It's a long story, but yeah, they've been fucking me. I had to re-upload the last video. Had to re-upload it. And yeah, people are complaining that I'm not appearing in their, what do you call it? Sub feeds, whatever. But it is what it is. Seething. Absolutely seething. But you can't cry over spilt milk, as they say. I know that anyway, like making the content I make is what it is. I'm a big UFC fan, but for some reason, I'm not all that hyped for Volkanovski versus Rodriguez. I like the fight. Imagine a fighter with David Goggins' mentality. Yeah, I know, right? I've had a lot to make, so my next video will only be out this week. Thanks again. No, it's all good, bro. It's all good. Yeah, bro. If your channel pops, eventually, I'm not sure what direction you're going to go down, but if you do content like mine, eventually YouTube will start fucking with you. They fuck with me in spells. So they'll leave me alone for a few weeks, and then they'll fuck with me like all of a sudden. So that video I made about the Zacatecas flaying, that did really well. And after that, all they've been doing is fucking with me. It's crazy. Yeah, but yeah, Volkanovski's right up there. Big up Dell, definitely more to it with Virgil Ortiz. Moving up isn't going to solve his problems in regards to the jab. Yeah, well, that's what I speculated. Bad when AJ versus White 2 and Usyk versus Dubois is what we have got after all of the talk. I know, right? I was saying, your old Dart, it's crazy that Joshua could very well have a better year than Tyson Fury, a non-champion. If he fights and beats Dillian White, then he fights Wilder in December. He's doing more than Tyson Fury. I know Fury's beaten White and Wilder, but Fury, it doesn't look like Fury's doing anything this year. Yeah, I hope Virgil gets back on track. I do, because I like his style, and I like him as he just seems like a good guy. Seems like a genuine guy. Big up Duck, man. Long time no see. I see you on Twitter, but I've not seen you in the stream for a while, man. So hopefully you're keeping well. After Spence versus Crawford, both will probably move up. And Ortiz is moving up or retiring. Ennis, Josh Taylor, and Conor Bum have a clear path to titles. That's a good point. That's a good point. I certainly think you'll see Ennis get hold of a title. He's IBF Mando, so he'll get hold of a title. No doubt. Tyson Fury's a paedophile. The guy's a cunt, honestly. The guy's a cunt. I'm sick and tired of this guy. Sick and tired of him. The more frustrating thing with Tyson Fury as well is because this guy's basically wasted his career being a fucking degenerate lying clown. Because the guy is very talented. Plus he's got the size, this, that, and the other. The term generational talents gets thrown around a lot. But a dedicated, active Tyson Fury was a generational talent, in my opinion. And yeah, he's kind of fucked his career by having these long spells of inactivity and absolute nonsense. I've never doubted Fury's quality or his potential, his ability. It's just him himself. He's a fucking idiot. Yeah, big up to yourself, Doc, man. Nice to see you. One of the OGs. Yeah, exactly, G-Man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the soy boys down at YouTube HQ. Yeah, they are kind of they are on it right now. They seem to be on it right now. But it's weird, yeah. These soy boy cuck cunts, they'll like censor the fuck out of you, but they'll allow like crypto scamming bots in your chat, things like that, like sex bot scammers. They'll allow all that shit that genuinely ruins their platform. But fuck those clowns, man. I think Fury will fight Usyk in December and beat him, but he'll still be a prick, in my opinion. I hope you're right. I hope we see that fight in December. I do. I hope you're right. Stanionis had a good chance, bro. I was picking Ortiz, but I was saying, man, don't rule out Stanionis. Stanionis is one of those guys, you look at him, I don't think he does anything all that well, but he doesn't excel in one area, but he does everything pretty well. He's well-rounded, he's compact, he's tough, he's durable, he's got good power. And very often those guys can go a long way. And especially considering where Ortiz is at in his career, if he made weight, Stanionis would have been very dangerous. Very dangerous. That would have been a great fight. Steve Robinson has had a better year than Fury so far. At least he's got a win. I don't think we'll ever see that fight either, JD. I don't think we'll see Fury versus AJ. Stanionis was about to kill Virgil Ortiz. Damn. I mean, listen, bro, considering where he's at health-wise, I don't think that's a wild opinion. Yeah, Tyson Fury is now at a point to where the fans have woken up, but he obviously still thinks they are dumb as him, yeah. Tyson Fury's done well to manipulate fans for as long as he has. He's done well. He is a master manipulator. Well, no, I'm not going to say master because it's failed now, but he's a good manipulator. I'll say that much. Because his fans as well, his fans annoy me because they kind of try to act like, oh, that's so based, this, that, and the other. But like, bro, they don't call out Tyson Fury for selling his ass to the Rainbow Mafia. Guys out here, you know, following his comeback, following his talking to by some PR firm, more than likely, following his sit down and his comeback. My man starts picking up guys at weigh-ins, kissing them. But yeah, this guy's a man of the people, this, that, and the other. Degenerates appeal to degenerates, man. Yeah, exactly. Remember when YouTube had to remove the dislike button because it reveals what people actually thought about certain topics? Yep. Exactly. It's all about subversion. And they try to make us feel alone in regards to our worldviews, like we're on an island on our own. But when you saw COVID happening and when you saw all of these press releases, you saw the mass dislike bombs, you know, in regards to press releases about lockdowns, things like that. You saw the dislike bombs. And that's why they removed the dislike button from YouTube. It was only to protect mega corporations, governments, etc. That's all it was for, to maintain their standing, you know. That's all it was for. Yeah, healthy Vergil more than likely beats him, but not this one suffering from AIDS. Yeah, AJ's got a massive fan base. Yeah, YouTube went woke a long time ago. Did you hear some stupid woman in her 40s drove into a primary school in Wimbledon and lives were taken? No, I haven't heard this. That sounds fucking terrible. I've not heard that, no. Yeah, it blows my mind how people actually look up to Tyson Fury. The guy's a straight degenerate, and even worse are the ones who look up to John Fury. Yeah, exactly. John Fury is another one, a show pony, a clown. You know, look at why that guy served prison time. He gouged out a man's eyes who was elderly, much smaller. The guy's a pure and utter bully. The guy's a bully, absolute bully. If you're about that life, man, and you just fuck with people who are like you, listen, man, it's not great for society, but I've got more respect for that. But when you're acting like the man, and you victimize people like that, you're a fucking scumbag. Yeah, I'm mad these fights keep on falling through. Facts, yeah. Who are some of the lesser-known current boxers with the craziest heights? There's a couple of tall Mexican prospects. One is 6'1" at featherweight, and the other's 6'3.5" at super feather. That's one thing I've noticed about Mexican fighters. They seem to be getting taller. Maybe it's for Mexican Americans like Diego Pacheco, for example, who I like, by the way. I like Pacheco. I think he's good. Best fight pick this year? I'm not sure, actually. I'd have to go back. I've not made loads of prediction videos this year. The only based Fury fans were fans of his until the comeback. Most of us left him years ago. Yeah, I was the same, bro. I liked Fury up until the Klitschko fallout. I had no issue with Tyson Fury. The only issue I had with Fury in his career up until that point was the David Price fiasco. That was really the only issue I ever had with him up until that point. Exactly, yeah. A prime John Fury gets laid out by 2 rounds against a fat Dave Allen. Facts. Yeah, Fendora's another one. John Jones versus Stipe Miocic has been announced to happen November 11th. I agree, yeah. Miocic is washed, but a legend, yeah. I'd rather see John Jones fight that Russian dude. Is it Pavlovich? I think he's the most dangerous heavyweight contender. Oh, that was funny when he got knocked out by when Gary Cully got knocked out by Jose Felix. Yeah, that was funny. It's just like because he's tall, lanky, and it's like just the imagery of him like wobbling about was kind of funny to me, like a baby giraffe. Yeah, that would have been a good pick. I've heard about him, J7, but I've not looked at him. Diego Pacheco's heavyweight brother, Federico. I've not seen him, but I've heard of him. I think it would take Wilder 6 or 7 rounds, 5 to 7 rounds to knock out Franklin. I think he would knock out Franklin, though. That's a great fight. Otabek Kolmatov versus Nick Ball. That fight is just violence. That fight is violence. I would take Kolmatov, but Nick Ball is a tough little guy. He's a fun fighter. He doesn't really have a British style. If you saw that guy, you'd assume he was like South American. If you never knew anything about him, you'd assume he was like South American. He's got a fun style. I like him a lot, actually. I think he'll come up short at the elite level, but I like Nick Ball. I do. Yeah, since the ESPN contract, Fury sold out, and the truly based fans can see it. Yeah, facts. I think he beats Lee Woods, Duck, personally, but listen, I do underestimate Lee Wood quite a lot, so there is that to consider. There is that to consider. Had Joey Olivo, light flyweight, and Paul Gonzalez, 5'9" flyweight back in the 80s. Think both were Mexican Americans. Yeah, man. That sort of height at those weights is deadly. Like Junto Nakatani's super flyweight right now, he's 5'7", and I can't see anybody beating him at super flyweight. I can't see anybody beating him. I really can't. I think Junto Nakatani right now, I think he beats what's left of Roman Gonzalez. I think he beats Estrada. I think he beats Ioka. I think he beats all of these guys. I can't lie. I think he beats all of these guys. Wood versus Warrington is in the works. I think Shark Teeth Warrington will be a champion again. That's a fucking disaster if he becomes a champion again. Guy needs to pick up a couple of... If he beats a contender, no issue. Cool, fair enough. But how he vacated that title, then got splattered, then cheated his way out of the rematch with Lara, and then somehow got another title shot was embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Then he gets beat up by Bernardo Lopez. The guy doesn't deserve a title shot. But having said that, though, it would be a good fight. Lee Wood and Warrington would be a good fight. I can't lie. So it's one of those ones. He doesn't deserve it, but it's a good fight. It's a good fight. And yeah, I don't think he's washed either. I don't think Warrington is washed. I don't think he's washed. Like you said, he showed good toughness against Lopez. He's still got a good chin, Warrington. He's still got a good chin. Tyson Fury completely outboxes David Tua. Yeah, it is hard to compare where AJ and Wilder are at right now based on their comeback fights. It is hard to compare. I always forget about Fernando Martinez, but he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter, yeah. Argentina's finest right now. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. Yeah, Fernando would come to fight, but I just think he'll walk onto too many straight punches. Junto is very surgical in his approach. Again, you look at Junto Nakatani, technically very sound, but he's not one of those guys who necessarily excels in any one area. He does everything well. He's got a really good jab, good footwork, good power, good timing, good punch technique, solid guard. He just does everything well. And combining that with his size and power, I don't think this guy is getting beat at super flyweight anytime soon. I don't. He's fighting soon, apparently, Vimal. He's fighting in August against Amo Williams. They're going to try and reschedule that fight. Officer Drool Titan. Let's see Tim Tszyu versus Jesus Ramos at 154. I like both guys, as you know. Tim Tszyu, for me, is the number one contender at 154, without a doubt. And Jesus Ramos is arguably the best up-and-comer. I was very impressed in how Ramos completely took apart Joey Spencer, destroyed him, beat him up. It was ugly. He also beat Brian Mendoza, who knocked out Fundora. So Ramos is 22, 23. He's a southpaw. He's big. Once again, you look at him, one of those guys that just does everything well without really excelling in one area. He's well-rounded. Ramos is fighting soon. He's fighting Sergio Garcia, which is a good fight. That's on the Spence Crawford undercard. I like that fight. Sergio Garcia is a good European / fringe world level fighter. I felt he got robbed against, or he was very unlucky against Fundora. He got schooled by Harrison, but yeah, Garcia's a good fight for him right now. Yeah, I agree, Duck. Yeah, Fernando Martinez, Ioka, Chocolatito, Mantis, Nakatani, Estrada. Yeah, they should all mix it up. Facts. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did Albanian. Yeah, that was yeah, I saw that fight as well. That was the guy who gave Ioka a hard fight as well. Was it Francisco Rodriguez? Yeah, I know the fight you're talking about. But he's a good fighter, Rodriguez. He's a good fighter. He's awkward as hell. You can tell he's been around in the gyms in Mexico, getting good sparring from a young age. Just a tough bastard. Because he gave Ioka a hard fight as well. You can tell that guy's just a good pro, one of those sort of guys. I like that fight, Lee. I said that after the Tony Harrison fight. I thought I'd like to see that fight. So it looks like Usyk will fight Hrgovic in Saudi. Does Hrgovic give Usyk many problems? Hrgovic, again, is one I struggle with because when he turned pro, I was very high on him, but he wasn't stepped up quickly enough. He's been inactive, and he looked terrible against Zhilei Zhang. I know that doesn't look as bad now. Considering what Zhilei Zhang did to Joe Joyce. But still, you know, his attitude in that fight was terrible, in my opinion. His attitude was terrible. The only positive I can find from the Zhilei Zhang fight was that Hrgovic showed a really good chin. And he showed that in the amateurs, but showing it in the pros is different. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Felix Cash was sourced out of his mind, in my opinion. Yeah, they were very close fights, man. I think the Nakatani fight was a 10-rounder, if my memory serves me correct. And I think I had it 6-4 Nakatani. And I had the Ioka fight like 7-5 Ioka. They were hard fights. I'm not even capping, but Huey Fury will win a world title before he is 35. I know it's a meme, but the division is weak. And he legitimately has a good shot. Huey 4.0 is doing it. I can't see it, bro. I can't see it. When was the last time that guy fought? When was the last time he fought? Oh, is Ben's court date on Monday? I never knew that, bro. Never knew it. El Pinche. I thought it was Usyk versus Dubois in Poland. Yeah, so that's happening next. Usyk Dubois in Poland on August the 12th. And possibly, from rumours, because the Fury fight's not happening, maybe Usyk versus Hrgovic in December in Saudi. But that's just a rumour, we'll see. Yeah, the Italian dude, Gualtieri, beat Falcao for the vacant IBF title. I've not seen that fight, but if I'm anybody who's anybody in the middleweight division, I'm getting that guy's fucking promoter on the phone. I'm paying that guy a lot of money to take his belt. I'm paying that guy a lot of money to take his belt. So, like, the likes of Janabek need to be giving that guy a call. Liam Smith, give that guy a call. All of these sort of guys. All of these sort of guys. Because Janibek has his way with him. I think anybody who's anybody more than likely beats him. Wood versus Lopez, great fight. I'd favour Lopez based on his durability and his awkwardness. But it's a great fight. Yeah, Falcao turned out to be a fraud. Yeah, he did. I don't think he does either. And I agree. I think he does get hit too much. He's good. So Sonny defensively is good when he is solely being defensive. But when he mixes it up, he gets hit a lot. He gets tagged up to the body a lot. He'll give up ground back on the ropes. He'll try and roll and slip shots and counter. But he gets tagged a lot in those moments. He does. And I think Bam is going to force that fight, force a high pace. And I don't think Sonny can box like that for 12 rounds. I think he'll get stopped. I think he'll get stopped. Yeah, Yimmy, I was saying, yeah, exactly, Yimmy. The health issues are getting to a point now to where you have to be concerned about his career. You have to be concerned. And listen, I speculated in that video, is it to do with side effects of a certain health procedure, safe and effective? Who knows? Who knows? Because the condition is super rare that he's got. Super rare, and it has been reported as a side effect for the mRNA vaccine. Hashtag conspiracy theorist. Hashtag anti-vaxxer. Hashtag far right. Hashtag trust for science. Mayweather beats Prime Marquez on points. Marquez traditionally was a good counterpuncher, and Mayweather's not going to give him those opportunities. I think Mayweather beats Marquez whenever, just a bad style. Basically, yeah. Josh Taylor looked like he secretly took the jab. He fought like it, didn't he? He was awful in that fight, but T.O. was good, man. T.O. was good. I'll give T.O. his credit. As I said, when T.O. is not like emotionally in turmoil and when he's not on his period, T.O.'s a good fighter. T.O.'s a good fighter. Yeah, guarantee Sonny's going to be boxing the entire night against Bam. He'll never stand against the ropes. Can he do that for 12 rounds, though? Yeah, Sonny is dirty. He's got that small man syndrome. I said that, Waved. I think that's the best fight for Josh Taylor because I don't really see him having all that much success at 147 unless the belts become vacated. So Conor Benn makes sense because it's a big domestic payday. And Conor Benn's unproven, so it makes sense. Yeah, I think Edwards will fight more cautiously against Bam and take some early rounds, but get pressured and stopped late. I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. Thoughts on Shakur rejecting the offer to face Haney. He was unhappy with the money. It's a shot at undisputed, and Mr. Boogeyman needs to be smart. Didn't Haney take a pay cut for the belts to go to Australia? Yeah, I mean, he was offered, what, 25%, I believe? Listen, he's a non-champion. He's a non-champion at the end of the day. And what's a mandatory going to get? It depends on what sanctioning body, right? I think the highest they can get, Amando, is 30%, I want to say. So maybe Shakur should have tried to negotiate for 30%, but he's not the champion. If he wants a better purse split, try and force himself as Mando, go to purse bid. Yeah, we don't have anybody coming up right now who I rate all that highly. There's a couple of guys who I like. Like I like watching Adam Azim fight, but I'm not convinced his style can make it to the top. I like Dalton Smith. I think he's fun to watch, but again, not one of those guys who I bet the bank on. There's not exactly many guys coming up. Fraser Clark, don't rate him at all. Fabio Wardley, he's good for what he is, as in a late starter to boxing, but can't see him getting to world level. David Adlalay, very raw, very, very green, very unrefined. Again, don't really put much stock into him. There's a lot of... I agree. Like, once this current crop of British fighters retire, I struggle to see where the next star is coming from. Or the next, like, truly world-class fighter. I think Ben Whittaker's going to cause a bit of a stir, but I feel he'll get exposed when he steps up. What's up, Nordic? How you doing, bro? Who do you think Wilder will end up fighting next? I'd like to see Andy Ruiz, El Pinche. I'd like to see Andy Ruiz. Yeah, Ben Whittaker's got star potential. He can draw. I think he can draw interest due to his antics, but as a fighter, I was quite high on him in the amateurs, but as a pro, I just see a lot of bad habits that I thought he'd tighten up on. He tries to be a showman too much, and I don't like that either. So like I don't mind showboating, right? But when you're showboating against a 5-9 journeyman, that's to me when it becomes a little cringe. That's when it becomes a little cringe. If you're doing it at world level against good opponents, no issues. There's a time and a place for it. But when you're showboating against a guy who fucking, drives a cab in the week, or he's a milkman or something, come on, man. Yeah, we're playing in the Euros final. Yeah, we are. We're playing. The normal WBC split is 75-25 to the champion, but this was a free shot at all of the belts. And didn't Shakur say Haney was easy money? That's why you should never put on that boogeyman jacket. Yeah, that's a fair point. It's a fair point. But fighters these days don't see the bigger picture. Fighters who showboat against bums should be banned from the sport. I think it's cringy as hell, Nordic. I think it's cringy as hell. When you're doing it against a decent guy, I've got no issue with it. Some people don't like it anyway. I've got no issue with it when you're showboating against a guy who's good, or at your level at least. Yeah, Jalalov as well. Jalalov signed with Top Rank recently. Yeah, Conor Benn could be a big star in the UK because he's hated now by a lot of people. And naturally, that means people are going to tune in. But again, as a fighter, I think the guy has a lot of flaws, a lot of holes. Plus the inactivity, plus trying to go to 160. I don't know, man. I think he'll try and be elusive, Nordic. I don't think he'll take a dive. But I think he'll be awkward early on and get stopped late. Wilder used to showboat against obese midgets. Yeah, when he used to swing his arm about. Yeah. But there's a time and a place for it, right? There's a time and a place for it. Like James Toney showboating against fucking, I think it was like John Ruiz and Evander Holyfield. I don't have an issue with that. Something like that. Yeah, I think so as well, Ralph. I think so as well. Yeah, his matchmaking Nordic's been awful, absolutely awful from start to finish. And yeah, I think he'll get. The more I think about that fight, I know Usyk's not a big puncher, but I think he might get stopped there. Dubois. I think Dubois might get stopped. Yeah, it's a joke. That pay-per-view price is a fucking joke. You got to pay for the app, then pay for the pay-per-view. Yeah, it's a fucking scam. Should be 19.99 at most, or even £10. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tyson Fury showboating against Tom Schwartz. Yeah, it's embarrassing. Interesting. Yeah, Felix Cash left Tony Sims. He's Ben's trainer too. Wonder if that's a sign of things to come. I'm not so excited for that Fulton and Inoue fight as others. I think Fulton is a good fighter, but nothing special pound for pound level. I kind of agree. I see him as an upper echelon world class fighter, but not pound for pound. I agree. I agree. What makes it interesting to me is he is bigger than Inoue. And he is skilled. He does have ability, Fulton. He does have ability. I don't think he's not one of these American fighters I would describe as like an Ameribum or a hype job. I think he's good. I felt he lost to Figueroa, but I do think he's a good fighter. I do. Yeah, I was speculating that as well, Alan. It's concerning because, like I said earlier, this illness came around after the Kavalauskas fight, which was 2021, and it still seems to be causing him issues. You know, making weight for 147. He's going to go to 154 now, from what I hear. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But you're right. The inactivity, the fluctuation in weight, you know, detrimental effects when he's tried to make welterweight, that all adds up. It's harsh on the kidneys, you know, when you're passing out trying to make weight, things like that. That shit catches up with you. Do you think Callum Smith will just try to survive against Beterbiev like he did against the Ginger Hulk? No, he'll remember how to throw punches, I think. He'll come to fight. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's that sort of guy. Only way it goes 12 is if Usyk carries him and Dubois runs. I think he will carry him. I don't think Dubois can run, to be honest. Crazy how Dubois is getting his shot. His best win is Gorman. Strange guy Dubois. Can't see a mental child doing well against an elite Usyk. Facts. I don't think Figueroa's a bum, though. I think Figueroa's a good fighter. Plus, he was massive for that weight as well. He was a big dude for a lot of punches. Yeah, listen, man. I hope I'm wrong about Virgil, but I'm starting to really, really doubt him and doubt his future. I hope I'm wrong because I like him a lot, but we shall see. I got Fulton. It's going to be interesting to see how Inoue turns up against an American-style boxer. Yeah, I'm also intrigued about how he deals with how his power carries up against a pretty well-sized bantamweight. I'm interested to see how the power carries. Oh, sorry, super bantamweight. Sorry, super bantamweight. I mean, Yeah, his Canelo's bulk and muscle is totally artificial, put it that way. Totally artificial. Yeah, imagine going through a hard camp and then having to cancel a fight due to that condition. It's not worth it. Maybe he can keep it under wraps if he goes to 154. Because that's when it seems to really kind of kick in, is when he's trying to make weight, which makes sense considering what the condition is. I'm not going to try and say it, but because I'll fucking butcher it. I think Dubois will go the distance with his size. The Lorena fight makes people think he just gets stopped, but he just got hit in the right place accidentally. He took Joe Joyce's power well. He did to a degree, Duck, but I don't think Joyce was landing haymakers against Dubois. Like he was loading into everything. I don't think Joyce truly unloaded in that fight. It was more just clubbing jabs and clubbing punches. Probably mid rounds. I think Villa is a perfectly okay opponent for right now. While he waits for a title shot. But yeah, I think he takes him out mid rounds. I hope Villa comes with that same energy he did against Rashidi Ellis. I'll watch it the next day, Waved. I'll watch it the next day. Yeah, that's what some fighters are trying to turn it into. Yeah, there's that as well, Duck. There's that as well, but yeah, there is that as well. I just think the sharper, quicker punches of Usyk may just make Dubois go into a fucking it'll make him have a meltdown. He'll just like shit himself in the ring. Start like spazzing out. I need to stop making fun of Dubois. He's a nice kid. That's the thing about Fulton. That's why I think Inoue probably takes him out. Because I think he'll get involved with Inoue. I think he'll get too involved, trying to prove his mettle. And he'll take some punishment, and I think he'll eventually get stopped. Fair play, JD, man. Yeah, I miss those days back in the day when I didn't have bills and shit. But they were good days. Good days. And yeah, the advice I'd give you, JD, is try to work for a bit and save up while you still live with your parents. Try and get a head start. Because kids these days are far too eager to move out, in my opinion. And I made that mistake, by the way. I made that mistake. I know, like, some people are going to see it as, like, see that there's something wrong with that. But people do it, like, all over the world. Kids will stay with their parents a lot longer than in the West. And it makes sense because you're helping your parents out. Plus, you're making money, you're saving money, you're building your cash up. That's the advice I'd give you. Is stay a little longer, just build your cash up. Especially in this day and age. Yeah, I want to see Usyk take all of his frustrations out on Goomba. Yeah, exactly. Inoue is going to be too strong and accurate for Fulton, who tends to reach with his shots. Yeah, he does fall in, Alan. He does fall in, particularly with the jab. Yeah, he does. No way Fulton can win a decision in Japan. Those fights are low-key worse judging than Vegas. If it goes 12, Inoue wins. I don't think so, man. I don't think Japan judges are that bad in comparison to like the UK, USA. I really don't. I agree, Zoma. I agree. I think Dillian's going to get flattened. I think that fight makes perfect sense for Joshua because Franklin was a good comeback opponent because he was durable. He could take care of himself. But offensively, there wasn't much coming back from Jermaine Franklin. Whereas White is the opposite. White's chin is gone. He's got terrible defense, terrible balance, throws himself off balance a lot when he throws shots. He leaves a lot of openings and his chin is gone. But he does have power coming back. So that could give Joshua, again, something else to think about. Another step on the comeback trail, beating a puncher like Dillian Whyte. I think that fight makes sense for Joshua. Like I said, after the Usyk fights, I said that Joshua should just take this year to have rebound fights, like 3 rebound fights. So if he fights Wilder in December, he's exceeded my expectations. Yeah, White's a similar level to Franklin, but less punch resistance and more power, yeah. I'd say that's fair. I'd say he's slightly above Franklin. I actually felt he beat Franklin. I don't think that fight was a robbery, personally. I don't. I felt he beat Franklin. Plus, he knocked Franklin down in round 10, which wasn't called. He kind of fell back against the ropes, and the ropes kept him up. Dillian Whyte won that fight. AJ White won was peak Joshua, who looked absolutely ripped in that fight. I don't think it's going to be as lopsided this time. Yeah, I think Dillian just needs to go in there and basically swing for the fences. Dillian now, he is like I said, his chin is going. He's on the downward slide. He's not expected to win. If I'm Dillian, I go in there and take a lot of risks early on. I'll try and catch Joshua cold. Try and take him somewhere horrible early on. Hurt him early on, and see where that takes him. Because I'm still not convinced with Joshua's mentality right now. I still don't think he's as confident as he was. So if Dillian could go in there, catch AJ with something big early on, could be an interesting fight. It might, like Nordic said, I've got a weird feeling it's going to be fun. I've got a weird feeling it's going to be fun as well. And that was one of my favourite Joshua fights as well. Was the first Dillian Whyte fight. That was one of my favourite Joshua fights, believe it or not. Poland's going to be full of Ukrainian normies. Dubois is not going to know what hit him. Yeah, Floyd Schofield versus Lydell Rhodes, new main event for tonight. With Vergil out, yeah, not a good look for Golden Boy. Yeah, Floyd Schofield's a decent prospect. Seems to have his head screwed on. I like what he did. So he basically said PBC tried to sign him, but he and his dad basically discussed it, and they said PBC is not the place to go due to inactivity and things like that, stalling of careers. He's a young kid who seems to have his head screwed on. So that's good to see. Seems to be mature for a young man. So yeah, he seems quite a likable guy, Floyd Schofield. So let's see where he goes. He's talented, but I'm not prepared to call him like a blue chip prospect, but he's good. He's decent. He's solid. Oh yeah, no doubt. I heard people claim that Jared would beat AJ and people like that. The Charles Martin fight kind of showcased how green he is. Anderson relies a lot on athletic ability, upper body movement, things of that nature. And we saw him fight a taller, longer guy in Martin, and he couldn't lean back against that straight left hand. Martin would catch him at the end of it every single time. He couldn't do that lean back style against a taller, longer guy. And by the way, Martin is listed as 6'5", Anderson is listed as 6'4". The height difference looked bigger. Either Martin is taller than he says he is, or Anderson's shorter than he says he is. But yeah, his technical deficiencies got exposed in that fight. And what Top Rank need to do now is pump the brakes on Anderson. If they want to develop him, they need to pump the brakes. I'd say come back against a guy like Christian Hammer, take a step backwards, a durable guy who's past his best, goes a few rounds. After Christian Hammer, I would say then Anderson should fight a guy like Jermaine Franklin, for example. That's the sort of route I would take Anderson right now. He is far too green. Far too green as of right now. Peace out, Dark. Have a good time. Yeah, that would be shit. Yeah, but having said that, Fraser Clark sucks anyway. But yeah, he'll beat Dave Allen. Yeah, Golden Boy will recover. It's a horrible look for Ortiz, who will have a hard time convincing promoters he can make a fight from now on. Yeah, that's true. Because a lot of opponents are going to be kind of skeptical now as also. I feel for Stanionis, man. I feel for Stanionis. I really do. I wish they got him an opponent, even if it was like a 10-rounder against a 18-5 journeyman, just to keep him active. But, you know, he's not a Golden Boy fighter, so why would they, right? But if I'm Stanionis, I'd probably go a different. Well, he's going to have to go a different direction now. Fuck it, why not make Stanionis versus Kavalauskas? Battle of Lithuania. Yeah, there is that element to PBC as well. And as I said, Floyd Schofield seems to be wise beyond his years. I think his dad's a good influence. Yep, WBC still not stripping Jamal Charlo despite not being ready for Canelo is a joke. He's been out nearly 2 years. Al Heyman's literally paying for the belt. Well, I make this observation a lot. When it comes to A-side Western fighters, like Charlo, for example, like Spence, these Mandos never seem to get in the way of each other. Never. Artur Beterbiev, look at Beterbiev right now. They can't wait to call his Mandos. They can't wait. They can't wait to call Usyk's Mandos. Completely double standards. I agree. I think Frank Sanchez is good, by the way. I know people don't like his style, but I think he's good. Top 10 level, I would say. I'd say he's top 10 level. Do I think he's going to be a champion? Not right now. I don't think he beats Usyk or Fury, but he gives those guys trouble. I'm telling you. I think he's decent. Yeah, Zoma. So Jermaine Franklin, it's a good observation. Yeah, he's the kind of guy who will always be competitive but not win at world level. Yeah. Jermaine Franklin reminds me of that sort of fighter who's really good in the gym, who's like a great sparring partner. He can look after himself. He's got good defense. He can be compact. You know, he's got decent boxing skills. You know, he's that sort of guy. I think he'd be a great sparring partner in a camp for an elite fighter. I think he'll be a great sparring partner. He knows the tricks of the trade. He's that sort of guy. Maybe like 10%, I'll give Dubois. Slim to none. I fancy Usyk to stop him and outclass him, but I do think Dubois could hurt Usyk during the fight. Yeah, he's got the power to. Dubois can punch. He can punch, yeah, no doubt. But does he hit harder than AJ? I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so. I don't think he hits harder than AJ. That's a good fight, you know. Jermaine Franklin versus Andy Ruiz. Two smaller heavyweights. That's a good fight. Yeah, Andy Cruz. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him. Yeah, he's fighting Burgos, a tough Mexican trial horse. Juan Carlos Burgos, yeah. I can't believe that, bro. It looks like that fight could actually happen. It's a crying shame. It really is. Crying shame. But yeah, Dubois versus Usyk. I'm pretty confident Usyk wins that fight handily. Yeah, Franklin versus Joseph Parker would be a good fight. Yeah, that's a good fight. Okay, so it's exhibition. Yeah, absolute nonsense. I've never seen a celebrity be so committed to committing career suicide as Tyson Fury. Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't think it's. There's all that much thought in regards to Tyson Fury where he's going. I think Tyson Fury knows his days are numbered. He knows he's not the fighter he once was, and I think he's just trying to squeeze out every last dollar he can, basically. Yeah, exhibition with no knockdowns. We don't really know, though, whether Joshua was concussed in that fight. We don't really know. But he is overrated, I agree. I've said this again numerous times. Ruiz was overrated. Because he wasn't top 10 before he fought Joshua. He wasn't in the top 10 Ring Magazine ranks. Yeah, he done the job. El Pinche. Yeah, I like Diego Pacheco. I think he's a good talent. Tall, rangy, boxer puncher. Good punch variety. He's good, man. He's good. He's what, 19-0 now, 20-0, something like that. He's been nice and active as well, which I like. Still young, good fighter. Good fighter. I'd like to see him now take a slight step up. So he's at 168, Diego. Who could he fight at 168? Have a look. Like realistically, a good like step up fight. I think he's at 68. Yeah, he is. Who could he fight at 68? Do you know what fight I'd love to see? I know this is probably a step too soon, but I'd love to see Diego Pacheco against Sergey Derevyanchenko. That would be a great fight. That would be a good fight. I mean, Melikuziev is on DAZN, and he last fought at 168. Melikuziev versus Diego Pacheco. I think Pacheco beats him. Yeah, Diego would destroy Edgar Berlanga. He's a much better prospect, much better fighter. Much better fighter. Yeah, unfortunately, Tyson's taking on his dad's sociopathic personality. Oh, is that Monday? White Joshua presser. Yeah, I think Dillian White's going to come out and talk shit. I'd hope so, at least. Make it fun. Yeah, Jamel's a better fight than Berlanga. I'll give you that, and maybe even Jamal at this point. But I don't like the fight all that much. I don't really care for it all that much. It's a no lose for Jamel Charlo because he's expected to lose. If Jamel Charlo goes in there and puts on a really good fight, gives Canelo a lot of trouble, he's not really lost. Moving up 2 weight classes. I know you're saying Jamel is taller and longer and younger. That is true, but he's not bigger than Canelo. I keep on hearing that narrative that Jamel Charlo's bigger than Canelo. If that was the case, that means people are saying Canelo can still make 154. We know that not to be true. Canelo's a mini tank. He's short, but he's a fucking stocky guy. So the whole smaller thing, again, when somebody says Canelo is smaller than Jamel, what they're saying is Canelo can still make 154. And when you analyze it like that, it kind of sounds silly. Do I think Stanionis will stand a chance against Ennis? Listen, man. I mean, Ennis is very unproven. He's very unproven. Stanionis is more proven in regards to. I mean, we saw him in the Butayev fight, and he showed he can take a punch in there and stay in a hard fight. So he's got a chance. I'd favour Ennis. Don't get me wrong. Ennis is taller, longer, faster, more explosive, etc. Seems to have more of an X factor to his game, but Stanionis, I wouldn't rule him out. I wouldn't be surprised Jimmy, if that fight is for last on the PBC deal, they'll, like you said, they'll try and build that fight up. Because Canelo becomes a little older, Benavidez gets a little more seasoning. I think that's what they'll try and do. And if Canelo doesn't re-sign, then yeah, chuck him in there with Benavidez and try and get Benavidez that win. Yeah, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Would even 154 be too much for Virgil to make? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's hard to say. We were saying this earlier, Pimp My Sniper. I don't see, right now in the UK, I don't see one guy who I look at and say, that guy is a guaranteed future world champion. I see good talents, like Dalton Smith, for example. I think he's a good talent. I like Adam Azim. I find his style very entertaining. But again, it's very razzle-dazzle, very reliant on athleticism. Does that carry up when he's fighting better technical guys? Who knows? But I like Adam Azim. I like Dalton Smith. Peter McGrail's good. There's a few guys who are decent prospects, but like, again, there's Ben Whittaker's decent, but there's not one guy who I would look at and say, yeah, that guy is a definite future world champion. No hope. Yeah, slim to none, and Slim's left town. Zero hope. Exactly. Yeah, that fight kind of stuck in my mind with Stanionis as well. I watched that fight live, and for a while, it looked like Delorme might outbox him, but Stanionis came back into it and won. There'll be no doping tests for Fury versus Francis Ngannou. There'll be zero testing. You wouldn't have thought so. It's an exhibition. Why would they try to? Why would they? Ngannou and Fury are going to be on rocket fuel. And again, for Francis Ngannou, it's a no-lose. I know you can't lose in an exhibition, but, you know, he goes in there, he gives Tyson Fury a bit of trouble for a couple of rounds. He's won. If he goes in there and troubles Fury. Yeah, Fraser Clark is... I don't know, man. I don't like watching the guy fight either, personally, Jimmy. I don't like watching him fight. I find his fights super boring. I like him as a person. He always comes across really well. But I don't like watching him fight. I don't like the decision to avoid Wardley. His career is just boring. Like you said, it's boring. Fucking boring. No interest. I think he'll be a better presenter than he is a boxer. That's a great fight. Justin Gaethje versus Dustin Poirier. It's a great fight. I agree, by the way. Yeah, I think Gaethje has to win that fight by stoppage. Poirier is a better boxer. And that fight staying on the feet. I'm taking Poirier probably, more than likely. I'd say Poirier late stoppage. But I'll go back and forth on it. Boar meat versus Mexican beef. I've never eaten boar before, so I'll give it a try. Yeah, I've seen it, Wayne Towers. I've seen that video. Yeah, Tyson Fury looked coked out of his head. Yeah. Fucking El Chapo tribute act right there. Like, fucking gurning and like all that shit. Sweating profusely. Yeah, he was on that shit. He was on it. He was on that shit, bro. Give me a detailed answer to why AJ is weird. I think for me personally, it's not whether he's weird or not. I just don't know what sort of guy he is. Because every single time you see him interviewed, it's always like he's trying to keep up a certain image. There have been certain times where I feel his real personality's come through, like the first Dillian White fight, for example. But he's too media trained. He's too media trained. Like Tyson Fury, sorry, Anthony Joshua was never the type of guy who I watched an interview of his, and I know going into it, he's not going to say anything interesting or anything that makes me question anything. Do you know what I'm saying? One of us is media trained. The whole weird thing, I don't know. Yeah, it's quite sad how Fury has fallen in such a short time. I blame his dad. Well, that's the theory. That's the theory. I forget who it was. I think it may have been Hatman. And he was kind of theorizing that John Fury was trying to get his claws back into Tyson Fury, kind of speculating that he thinks John Fury wants to train Tyson again. That wouldn't shock me. That wouldn't shock me at all. Like how he threw Sugar Hill under the bus was just, I don't know, man. I think Mo Williams wins, Henry. I don't trust Felix Cash. I've heard a lot of things about that guy outside the ring. Again, you don't know how true they are, but I know he went through some sort of personal issues. And I've heard things on top of that doesn't fill me with confidence. Put it that way. Yeah, exactly. Just a mainstream like talking point. Like basically saying Loma was like, what's the term they use? Dog whistling, just some soy mainstream talking point. Yeah, that's the thing about AJ. AJ seemed better like in his amateur days and early pro career. Yes, he was scripted, but it felt like when he became a champion, it just felt like the whole scripted like fucking motivational speaker AJ became much worse. But prior to like being a champion, there were times when he came out of his shell and like I remember once he had an interview with Kugan Cassius, and he brought up him losing to Dillian White in the amateurs, and you could tell AJ kind of flipped a switch, and he kind of bit Kugan's head off. Things like that. The build up to the White fight was fun. I think this is a good way. Yeah, this is a good way to put it. AJ's one of those guys with an average IQ who wants people to think he's intelligent. Yeah, because I don't think he's a dumb guy. Yeah, that's a good point. Reminds me of myself. And that's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. I think that summarizes it very well. Yeah, John Fury hates Sugar Hill because Sugar said in an interview he hadn't been training Tyson for the Usyk fight, so exposed the lies of the whole Fury team. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he threw Sugar under the bus for telling the truth, basically. Because Sugar Hill doesn't seem the type of guy to talk nonsense. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't. I like the fact that he doesn't like the camera. So when he speaks on camera, you kind of get the sense that he's being honest. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if John Fury starts to train him. He'll be his own worst enemy. He'll just be another cheerleader. I honestly, I find there's people in boxing I don't like, but I just find John Fury to be absolutely repulsive. There's something about that guy that I just find. I think that guy's a nasty piece of work. I really do. I think he's a nasty piece of work. Now I've not joined it. I've heard about it. It's basically Twitter on Instagram, right? I'd rather just stay on Twitter because at least I can say some shit on Twitter. Although Twitter is still censored to a degree. It's better than it was. Yeah, John Fury equals ogre, yeah. Yeah, I like Peter Fury. Peter Fury is what he is. When he speaks, you get the sense that he's being honest. Seems to be a guy who learned from his previous mistakes. Because he's basically what John Fury says he is. Like, John Fury was just a thug and a bully. But Peter Fury was that guy at one point in time in Manchester. That guy was moving mad shit across Manchester. Like, yeah, John Fury's mostly bravado, whereas Peter seems like a nice guy, but you definitely don't want to cross him, yeah. And I like Huey Fury as well. I don't rate him. I don't rate him as a fighter, but I like him as a person. He seems like a nice kid. He's 28. He seems like a nice guy. Yeah, Just Stop Oil, Waved. I despise that group. They are the enemy of the working class. Every single one of those fucking clowns are some fucking privately educated, upper middle class, more than upper middle class, upper class ponces who have never had to work a day in their lives. They don't have fucking jobs. They're living off the bank of mummy and daddy. And all they do is make working class people's lives harder, stopping them going to work, stopping them taking their families to hospitals. They are fucking scum. I hope they catch a serious beating. I really do. Absolute fucking scum. Those climate activists are the enemy of working class people. And that'll be the next thing that strips our freedoms away from us. When these climate levies and these climate fucking initiatives come in, they're going to just take away from our freedom. That's all they're going to do. Another element of control. They are fucking scum. I hope they catch a serious fucking beating. Whatever happens to them, I could care less. Can't stand them. Cannot fucking stand them. That they boil my piss every time I see them. Because they're a bunch of fucking yuppie cunts. A lot of them. Can't stand them. Yeah, we all call them trustafarians in the US. Brats living the hippie life off their parents dying. Yep. None of these people have had jobs. They all look like they fucking stink as well. A lot of them. Absolute repulsive individuals. But yeah, not shocked to see the UK police confront people that push climate activists out of the way of the road. Yeah, UK police are fucking scum. I don't like the police, and it's not like I don't like the police for the I don't dislike the police for like the normie reason. I dislike the police in this country because all they are, they're basically just a tool of the state. They're not really here to keep us safe. They're here to keep us in line more so than anything. You know, look at how these guys were acting during COVID. I was just doing my job, they say. Get the fuck out of here, man. Fucking UK police suck. Just doing my job. Where have we heard that before? We've heard that in many occasions where the authorities victimize innocent people. Just doing my job. Fucking clowns. But when there's something serious, these guys are the biggest pussies out. The biggest pussies out. Again, look at the state of the police in this country. Fat, overweight, sloppy. But God forbid, if I say something bad on Twitter, they're going to knock on my fucking door. Cunts. They're worse in the UK, El Pinche. They are bad, bro. They're bad. I feel sorry for police officers who actually take that job with the right intentions, who actually want to help their communities. I feel for those people, man. But like at some point in time, I don't know, man. These guys, they're moving mad. They're moving mad. Based, yeah, exactly. Infiltrate, just stop oil, and kick the fuck out of them, yeah. Because all they do is just inconvenience the working man's day. That's all they do. And they're so arrogant as well. They're so fucking arrogant. I despise them. I despise them. I really do. I like this from Joe Cordina. I'm glad you brought that up. So Joe Cordina's voiced his displeasure at Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. He's so basically what Matchroom are trying to do, they're trying to make a fight between Joe Cordina and Zelfa Barrett, who's a domestic guy. Zelfa Barrett is a good domestic fighter, nothing more, nothing less. He's not world level. Joe Cordina seems to have taken that as a slight, and he's unhappy that. So he wants unification fights. He wants the biggest fights, the best fights. And he's basically put Eddie and Matchroom on blast for trying to make that fight. I like that a lot. He's putting his own promoter on blast for trying to make that fight. I like that. Big up to Joe Cordina. He made a fan out of me when he fought Rachmanov. Big up to him. Facts, yeah. Cops are just NPCs of the state now. They've been captured by the left-wing ideology. The latest one now is cops have been banned from wearing a Union Jack, but have to wear rainbow flags, yeah. It's madness. It's absolute madness. Again, I hope the pendulum swings the other way. I feel like there's more dissent now. I do feel like there's more. I feel like there's more dissent now towards these ideologies, but still, we're not where we need to be. But yeah, Zelfa and Josh need to stop getting title shots. Yeah, I agree. They need to put some wins together. Big up to the cyclist. Yeah, and the whole aspect of elections in the UK is fucked anyway, because we have a choice between the Tory party, or the Conservatives, or Labour, which is basically the Liberals. But our Conservatives in this country are not conservative at all. Fiscally, they are terrible, which is supposed to be, if you're a Conservative, you're supposed to be good fiscally. They are not. They're awful. They're soy as fuck. They're basically Labour like 10 years ago. They're Labour 10 years ago, and Labour are absolutely dreadful. All they talk about is identity politics, social justice, things of that nature, and they will be in power in the next election, Labour. I just find it hilarious how you could be like, I can understand it on your first election cycle. You kind of believe in the system, this, that, and the other, cool. But once you've gone past like one election cycle, I don't understand how you think voting Labour or Conservatives will make a difference. I don't understand it. These two parties have systematically ruined the UK, particularly since the 70s, you could argue, and probably beyond that. Both have failed this country beyond belief. And people still vote for the same old fucking parties. But you can't. The UK has a first past the post system, so somebody making a new party is next to impossible. It's a two-party state. It's a two-party system. That's supposed to be democracy, though. That's democracy. There should be nothing stopping a random fucking person getting up one day, starting a political party. It goes viral, and they get in power. There should be nothing stopping that, but that will never happen. It can't happen. The system doesn't allow that to happen. Democracy is fake. Democracy is fake and gay in the UK. It's fake. It doesn't exist. And I find it hilarious, you know, like since all this shit's been going on in Russia and Ukraine, and we've heard a lot about China recently as well, because they're trying to make China to be like the next bad guy. They're trying to prep us for something. Whenever the media says that's the bad guy, just you know, hold your breath. But they always talk about these countries, and they'll talk about how censored their media is. Everything is state sponsored. How censored the internet is in these countries. We've lost the right to we've lost the right to point the fingers at other countries in regards to censorship, especially of the internet. Have you seen the internet now? Our internet is as censored as many. Well, look at how they move on the internet. How people get banned for no fucking reason, for having different opinions. But we're pointing our fingers at other countries, talking about how censored their internet is. Yeah, he signed with Top Rank for XMB. So, yeah, exactly. Now that all of the terrorists have randomly gotten bored of doing their usual thing and C19 has gotten old, we need something fresh, like extreme Green Party hippies on the loose and a little bit of LGBT. Yeah, they'll be the next thing, and you know, people will fall for it regardless. And in doing so, they'll give up their rights, and they'll give up the rights of their children. That's how it is, man. Once you give these guys an inch, they'll take a mile, and they won't give it back. It's like Winston Churchill said, never let a good crisis go to waste. And that's exactly what they do. They'll take these issues, they'll exaggerate them, they'll then implement new rules, new laws, and all they really do is strip away from our own freedoms. That's all they do. Look at the Patriot Act in America, the Patriot Act. That was supposed to be a temporary thing, but it lasted for decades. I think it still exists, the Patriot Act, in some degree. Well, there's that as well, Alan. There's that as well. I'd rather have a monarchy. I'd rather just have a monarchy, have all of the authority, and then sack voting off. Gets rid of the infighting between the common man. Monarchy, dictatorship are basically the same. A dictatorship could technically work if your dictator was like absolutely like just had the best interests of the people at heart. A dictatorship could work, but it never ends out that way. It never ends out that way. It rarely ends that way. In Japan, most political parties are very conservative. They're almost spoiled for choice for based parties, but there are one or two left-wing parties who are still based oddly enough. UK can learn a lot, yeah. The UK's political system is worse than the US's. It is worse. Because we're never going to get someone like completely left field who surprises everybody, who randomly just starts like a movement. It's never going to happen. Who are we? Oh, okay, that's the under-21s, right? Yeah, that's a final as well. Interesting. I like Count Dankula's views on dictatorship based laugh out loud. Yeah, the company is absolutely corrupt. We've seen that with the organizers, you know, funneling money to buy houses and shit. Yeah, the organization's absolutely corrupt. And that's the easiest thing to do now is jump on a social cause and you can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money while also dividing and conquering. So you're making money, you're making the money. Plus you're going to get into the algorithms on social media. Your message is going to get pushed. You're making the money, plus you're pushing the divide and rule tactic of the elites. Because again, when you see your enemy as your neighbor, you're never going to look above and see who's really pissing on you. But most people are just too, I don't know, most people are just, I don't know, man. They seem to be content with that. If you get a good dictator or king, everybody is happy. But if it's a bad one, everyone can direct anger at the ruler rather than crying it's all them idiots that voted Tory, yeah. Yeah, there's that as well. There's that as well, Pimp My Sniper. But listen, man, I don't know. I don't know. You know, there's like in the UK, there's no such thing as like a person can keep on serving until they get voted out. You know how in America a president can only serve 2 terms. I think there should be something like that for a political party. So a political party can only be like maybe like in the UK, a political party can only exist for like 20 years, for example. I liked Parker when he was up and coming as well. Looked quick, dangerous, etc. But yeah, didn't have it in him to push on. I thought he had wasted potential. Yeah, when he was on the come up, I rated him as well. But it became quickly apparent he never had that killer instinct. He never had that mean streak. Almost like he was too nice to be a boxer. Good athlete, had some boxing skills, but yeah, was never truly about it. And I don't really get why he's sticking around, because he's not going to get another title shot at this point in time. So I don't know. I don't really get it. Maybe he could fight Lucas Brown in Australia, something like that. Justice Hooney, maybe. Maybe he can have that sort of domestic fight, but I don't really see why he's sticking around. Yeah. Yeah. The whole of Europe seems to be in a shambles right now. Well, a lot of Europe. Not so much countries like, I don't know, Serbia, Romania, Bulgaria, Poland. Those sort of countries seem to be doing pretty well. Croatia. But yeah, countries like Spain, Italy, fucking France, Greece, Ireland, UK, Germany, fucked. He did show heart. I'm not saying so he's got heart, but he just doesn't have that mean streak. He doesn't have that killer instinct. He's too nice. Yeah, we've got to a point now in the UK where we've overdone it with immigration. The population is becoming. We're going to hit 80 million real soon. When's the projection for 80 million? Not 80 million, sorry, 70 million. We're going to hit 70 million real soon. So it was 64 million in 62 million in 2010. And now it's 67 million. Bro, we're going to be at 70 million in like 5 to 8 years, man. And obviously there's a housing crisis right now. The NHS is on its arse. Getting kids into school, is getting harder. We don't need any more people, man, and especially unchecked fucking people who knows what they're about. But again, that's a controversial opinion, apparently. But there you go. Immigration works if you're getting people that you need and who can contribute. So the whole term immigration, do I agree with it or do I disagree with it? Immigration can work if you get people who you actually need, who can speak the language, who has skills, etc. That can work, of course. But when you're like just having like countless unskilled workers who don't speak English, it's not going to end well. It's just a reality. It's just like common sense, right? Ashley Cole got sent off. Fucking hell. This sounds fucked up, but I'd actually Uncle Tom and corporate puppet for a bit to make it big. I just want to take care of my family and close friends. I've given up the bigger picture and moral battle. You should never give up, bro. Always just state what you believe, man. You never know who you may encourage. And if you encourage one more person, then it's one more person on your side. Because at some point in time, I'm convinced there's going to be some sort of pendulum swing in the UK and Europe in general. I think it's going to happen in Europe before it happens in America, strangely enough. I think you might start to see things get nasty out here at some point. It feels like it's been bubbling for a long time now, particularly since COVID. And we see that in France. I think the things that are going on in France, I can see that happening on a much bigger scale throughout Europe. Oh, really? A lot of comments that you highlight don't show up for me in the chat. That's weird. YouTube are fucking with us, maybe. Ryan Garcia beats O'Hara, but O'Hara beats Rolly Romero. He'll beat Rolly Romero. Yeah, the lefties are what they are, man. They have no standards. They have zero standards. They're hypocrites beyond belief as well. It's just like the cowardly position to take in society. Like all of your views, this is what triggers me about the lefties. When I say lefties, I'm not talking about like libertarians or like the old school left of like 30 years ago. I'm talking about lefty. You know what I'm talking about when I'm saying lefty. What triggers me about them is they'll act like they are freedom fighters who are talking for the downtrodden, etc., 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 like they're taking some sort of risk. When every viewpoint they have is backed by big tech, is backed by mega corporations, is backed by big pharma, is backed by basically every Western government to a certain degree. They're backed by every single institution. The educational institution back them. Their worldviews are backed by every single major relevant institution. And they act like they are like freedom fighters. And like they're taking a risk. They're not. See, I always get into fucking. We only talk about boxing for like an hour. Do you think there'll be Do you think there'll be momentum gained by the trad community, or will things just keep getting more liberal? I don't know. I feel like now. So I've not seen my nephew in a long time, like many years. He's like 8. I think he must be 18, 19. Not spoken to him for a long time, like years. And I saw him the other week when I went to a family barbecue. And he was low key kind of based. They say Gen Z. Is it Gen Z? Like they say Gen Z. There's a lot more different points of view, more so than like what's our generation again? I forgot. Millennials. There's a lot more divergent viewpoints in Gen Z, and he was. I was expecting him because he's at university now. I was expecting him to be like some liberal soy boy, but now Loki he was kind of based. Yep, cost of living crisis, food banks sky high, energy bills off the radar, and fuel costs at a historic high. We have to pay nearly 30 quid for a pay-per-view these days at a time when UK boxing's on the decline. Yeah, they're trying to milk out what they can get, Jimmy. They know their ship is sailing. They know their ship is sailing. I wouldn't be uber shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if Eddie Hearn's out of boxing in 5 years. Because I think he sees what's going on. If he can't get a good grasp of America, I think he may bow out. I think he may bow out. And maybe he'll hand maybe Matchroom stay in boxing, and he'll hand the reins over to that fat cunt Frank Smith. But I think Eddie's going to do different things sooner rather than later. Yeah, there was a time period, 2015, yeah, like 2015, 2016, 2017, where there were really good cards. Like the Spence versus Brook card, like Spence versus Brook main event, Groves Chudanov on the undercard, Dave Allen, Lenroy Thomas. It's actually a decent card. I think Eddie's getting a little tired of it, to be honest. Yeah, I think he'll try other things. I think he'll try other things, like maybe more so on the event side of things, like music, things of that nature. Wouldn't be shocked. Wouldn't be shocked. I think 1999 would have been fair. Yeah, it seems like the Hrgovic fight would be the backup alternative. According to Klimas, on the 4th of July, he stated Usyk has agreed and signed his side of a deal with the Saudis for a future Fury fight. Yeah, I guess it's on Fury. I wondered that as well, Jimmy. I don't think you'll see him for... I think he'll be here for the foreseeable, but maybe in like 5 years, something like that, he'll probably bow out. He'll probably bow out. Ben Shalom is awful, yeah, facts. Ben Shalom is dreadful. The heavyweights don't fight anymore. Awful pay-per-view undercards. Women's boxing shoehorned into every direction you turn. It's safe to say boxing is in the worst state it's been. So it's the worst state in the post-war era. Yeah, we've got some good fights this year. We've had some good fights, but there are certain things that are going on in boxing I just don't like. That kind of really kills my enjoyment of the sport. Yeah, maybe when AJ and Canelo retire. No cap. This is not a lie. Genuinely haven't watched a movie this year. Genuinely, not watched a single movie. How's that? Not watched a single movie. If you take the heavyweights away, 2023 has been good so far. It's been quite good so far. Yeah, we've had good fights, man. No doubt, no doubt. But I always think we can do better. We can do a lot better. That's the sad thing. We can do a lot better in boxing. Which is why I don't tend to praise fighters too much. As weird as that sounds. Because ultimately these guys are professional fighters, they are professional athletes. They're supposed to want to fight the best. They're supposed to want to prove themselves. And we are the consumer. They are the product at the end of the day. And I'm not gonna praise a fighter for giving me one good fight in 3 years, for example. I'm not gonna do it. But I see so many guys on social media. So for example, when Spence versus Crawford got signed, they was, going through all of these, just on social media, bowing down, being so thankful. Thank you, Crawford. Thank you, Spence, finally for making this fight happen. Should have happened. Should have happened years ago. Years and years and years ago. And you now expect me to be grateful? Nah, fuck that. Fuck that shit. Roast these guys, man. Put these guys on the coals. Fuck that shit. Oh, thank you, Spence. Thank you, Crawford. Fuck off. Get out of here. Get out of here. That was a good card as well. AJ White won, yeah. Bellew versus Masternak, Eubank Jr., Spike O'Sullivan, Luke Campbell versus Mendy, Kevin Mitchell versus Barroso, Malignaggi versus Moscatiello, and Chisora versus Gospic. That's a good card. I remember that fight, Kev Mitchell versus Barroso. Yeah, Barroso destroyed him. Ruined him. I've tuned out of the whole Andrew Tate thing, personally. I've kind of got bored with it. When he first got arrested, I thought it was kind of like a show, but I don't know. Have you seen the way Frank Smith licks Hearn's ass and wants to fight all of his battles? He takes Lapdog to new heights. He'll be next in line. Hearn literally treats him like shit, and Frank loves it. Yeah, bro. It's not just that, bro. Have you seen Frank Smith and his partner, his wife or girlfriend, whatever she is, Emily Eubank, in interviews together? You can tell she wears the trousers in that relationship. That guy's just a fucking clown, innit? Frank Smith, though. Frank Smith is the perfect example of where networking can take you. Because when he was young, he went to the Matchroom offices young, and I swear to God, he was like a little helper, like a T-boy, basically. And if you look enough arse, if you get in the right position, you get with the right people, and you lick enough arse, you can go a long way without being necessarily special. They're grateful because they're proud cucks. This is why boxing has the lowest standards of all sports. Promoters know their audience are, I'll fill in the blank, dumb as shit. Yeah, you're right. Boxing fans are basically like battered housewives or cucks. You're right. You're absolutely right. Just fed off scraps. And they still act like everything is okay and fine. And get out of here, man. Boxing should be doing a lot better than it is. Boxing should be doing a lot better than it is. Spencer's fought, what, twice? Since 2020? Twice? He's given me 2 fights. I liked the Ugas fight. Cool. Danny Garcia was what it was. He's not exactly been delivering us fight after fight after fight against elite guy after elite guy after elite guy in a consistent basis. Why should I be grateful for him doing something he should be doing? Same goes for Crawford. When was the last time I looked forward to a Crawford fight? Fuck knows. No, I looked forward to Sean Porter. But aside from that, I guess it was Postal. No, I'm not. Do I have a favourite promoter? No, I don't know. I don't have a favourite promoter because I think most promoters now are doing a bad job. Yeah, and it's one of those things, Jimmy, like, unfortunately, most people are willing to accept that. I'd rather be fucking broke. I've been broke before. I grew up broke. I was broke for most of my adulthood, believe it or not, or pretty close to broke. I'm not broke now, but I'd sooner rather be broke again than do that to get somewhere. Fuck that. Yeah, Spence has a larger fan base, I'd say. His numbers seem to indicate that. He sells out in Texas quite well. Maybe YouTube are fucking with us, JD. I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, bro, I think every promoter's doing a bad job right now, man. Every single one of them. I expect a lot better. I feel like I'll know when they're doing a good job. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just falling out of love with boxing to a certain degree. Maybe it's that, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is. There have been times this year with certain fights where I have been super excited. Like Ryan Garcia versus Tank, for example. I was genuinely excited when that came around. I had issues with the fight, like the rehydration clause, etc. I was excited. I was into it. But again, it's not one of those things where I praise the guys for taking it. They should be taking that sort of fight. But we need more of that, and it needs to be normalized. This is what I'm trying to say. So I feel when you're overly appreciative of these sort of fights happening, you're not. It's not the type of behavior that that leads to these fights being normalized and being regular. You know, we shouldn't be so grateful. We shouldn't be so praiseworthy of these sort of fights happening once in the blue moon. Because they should happen all the time. Every month, mega fights should be happening, or not mega fights per se, but fights of consequence, fights of real consequence, including mega fights. Yeah, I don't think Tank's going to fight rest of the year either. He's in jail, right? I swear he's in jail right now. He'll fight maybe in like December. He'll fight maybe in December. I wouldn't be shocked either if he fights Isaac Cruz again. Which, low-key, I know this is going to be controversial. It's not the fight I want to see, but I wouldn't hate it per se. Nick Hennessy was with Channel 5, but I think he lost his deal with Channel 5. And yeah, they went to Wasserman instead, Channel 5. I feel for Mick Hennessy because Mick Hennessy was a guy who you could tell loved boxing. You could tell Mick Hennessy loved boxing. But he still puts his fighters, I believe, on I think some of his fighters go on like boxer cards. You know, the Sky cards. So Isaac Chamberlain, I believe, is a Mick Hennessy fighter, and he fights on Sky. I think Aaron McKenna's also a Sky fighter. So he's got fighters still, but he's got to piggyback off other people's TV deals now. Okay, Mick's just a manager now. Okay. Yeah, usually does business with Sky. That's it. Yeah, I like Mick Hennessy. I know he became the butt of jokes when he memed himself with the Huey Fury like Ali comparisons. But Mick Hennessy's always been the type of guy who, maybe I'm wrong, but it always strikes me he has his fighters' best interests at heart. He just can't really deliver like that. Doesn't have the money, doesn't have a backing. Honestly, that's a fight in which I'd actually be a Canelo supporter in. I'd like to see Canelo take care of Andrade because he will do. I wouldn't mind seeing it in the second fight and then Benavidez last. I wouldn't hate on that. It would have been interesting. Yeah. I liked him. I like him too. In my opinion, Sky should have gone with him instead of Shalom. Shalom looks the part, but he can't sell anything. Mick Hennessy, I think Mick Hennessy could do a job. He could do a better job in regards to just how he speaks, how he portrays himself and his product. He'll do a better job than Ben Shalom. If Mick Hennessy's face fit, he would have been given the opportunities worse promoters have had. No coincidence he and Fury and Froch. Sorry, no coincidence he had Fury and Froch. They were given proper stepping stone fights, yeah. Also, Eubank Jr. he had James DeGale for a short period of time. Had a few fighters. Had Darren Barker for a while, I believe. Mick Hennessy's weight makes me cackle, though. Yeah, he's a big guy. But I like him, man. I think he always comes across like a nice guy. I like him. Seems like one of the few promoters. I can't talk. One of the few promoters who's actually a fan of boxing. Like I don't get that impression with like Ben Shalom, for example. I think Eddie likes boxing, but I don't think he's like we are kind of thing. I kind of get the impression that Mick Hennessy's like a hardcore fight fan. That's the impression I get from Mick Hennessy. But yeah, he built Tyson Fury. He built Kyle Froch. He helped DeGale rebuild his career when he lost to George Groves. Did okay with Eubank Jr. I mean, so-so with Eubank Jr. Did well with Darren Barker. He built him up. Built Kid Galahad up as well. Let's not forget about Kid Galahad. Matched him really well. Built him up. You know? He got Huey Fury a title shot somehow. Yeah, I've listen. I long since lost the hope in Andrade. When he was coming up, I rated him as well. His best performance to me was always that Willie Nelson fight. That's a great performance, and At that time, I felt he was really going to push on and do something, but it's never worked out, and his style's regressed. He's not as explosive as he once was. He can't maintain it for 12 rounds. Yeah, he's done when he steps up. Would I fight on Misfits? I've been asked that a lot. Given the right opponent, probably, yeah. I'd want a little payday. I know I wouldn't get paid much. I'll be deep on an undercard. But I've seen people with channels smaller than my other channel get on Misfits and cards like that. So listen, man, you never know, right? But I would do it if it's a right opponent and I'm getting paid a little something. I know I know I wouldn't get paid oceans, but even if it's like 10 grand, I'll take it. Fuck it. Kid Galahad, I don't know. For some reason he went to lightweight and fought Maxi Hughes, didn't he? But yeah, I think that fight with Kiko ruined him. Kiko Martinez. One of my favourites, by the way, of recent years, Martinez. Love Kiko Martinez. Old school. That's a proper fighter. People always praise guys for taking one hard fight in 10 years. Look at Kiko Martinez's career. Kiko Martinez, fucking Leo Santa Cruz, Carl Frampton twice, Scott Quigg, Kid Galahad, Warrington twice. Goes on and on. Guys fought everybody. Gary Russell, another one. And always fights abroad as well. Proper fighter. Proper fighter. When Mick Hennessy was remortgaging his house for Huey versus Parker, when I heard it was on pay-per-view, I legit thought Mick was going to stream it on YouTube through his mobile phone. Mick had that type of budget. Yeah, facts. Facts. I'm good, Ian, I'm good. We was talking about this earlier. So showboating's a weird one. I don't mind it when you're fighting somebody on your level. Or let's say you're fighting at world level and you're doing it against a world-class fighter. I've got no issue with showboating. It's when you do it against overmatched journeymen and shit like that, like what Ben Whittaker's doing now. It's kind of cringy. It's corny. Yeah, Kiko Martinez had an insane end to his career. Yeah, because it looked like he was done 6 years ago, 7 years ago. And he just kept on coming back. He kept on coming back. But look at the guys he's fought, man. Look at the guys he's fought. It's insane. Like I say, Frampton twice, Scott Quigg, Santa Cruz, Warrington twice, Gary Russell. Fucking madness. Absolute madness. Even guys like Hasegawa, who was a good fighter. Matabula, good fighter. Jonathan Romero was a champion when he beat him. Good, decent fighter. Guys fought a lot of good competition. Yeah, I saw that, JD. Yeah, Roman Fury doesn't look good. He doesn't look good at all. He even fought Bernard Dunn way back when Bernard Dunn was up and coming in Ireland. He starched Bernard Dunn as well in a round. He fucking cleaned him out, bro. Oh shit, did that actually happen? I never knew his friend ended himself. I thought his friend just died. The matchmaker for Queensbury killed himself years ago. But yeah, I do remember, Frank tried to push Box Nation for a long while, but yeah, then took all of his stable to BT, yeah. Hopefully Martinez has invested his money in property, maybe a side business. Yeah, I hope so, man, because he took a lot of punishment in his career. He took a lot of punishment, and a couple of times, man, that guy got jobbed. He beat Who was it he got robbed by? Was it Zelfa Barrett? Yeah, he got robbed by Zelfa Barrett. He got robbed in that fight. And even the first Warrington fight, this was before Warrington became a champion. That was a very close fight. It was a good fight as well, if you go back and watch it. Very close fight when he first fought Warrington. I think I'd do it for like 10K. Like 10K, listen, 10K is a weird sum of money. It's not like, obviously it's not life-changing, but it'd be nice to have like an extra 10K in my bank. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, would I do it? I don't know. I don't know whether I'd do it or not. I just know as of right now, I'm not what I was, and that would trigger me. That would wind me up. I think that'll get to me and train him. Like, you're much younger than me, so you could, if you like had a channel, you could do it. But we will see. Who knows? Oh no. Are you actually telling the truth here? You heard that Munguia versus Sergio Martinez is in the works. That's horrible, man. That can't be true. I hope you're fucking lying, bro. I loved Sergio Martinez when he was a champion. That'd be a fucking disgusting fight. If that happens, that'll be disgusting. I don't think it will happen. I don't think it will happen. Yeah, the current era where boxers have been treated better and been given more money has been bad for the consumer. Yep, I don't mind these crazy purses as long as the fight generates that money. That's fair enough. But a lot of these guys are getting paid money they're not generating. They're getting paid money they're not generating, and that kills a fighter's ambition. That kills a fighter's ambition. Now, I'll get G-Man to train me. I like G-Man. G-Man's one of my favorite people in YouTube. I've spoken to him. There's very few people off record I've spoken to on YouTube. Spoken to a few people. But yeah, G-Man's one of my favorites. Yeah, bro, these fucking hoes like Elle Brooke and Astrid Wet, yeah, they're fucking cringe. Like Astrid Wet in particular, I find there's something about her. I don't find her attractive at all. Like, she kind of repulses me. She's got a weird shaped head, like a Mr. Potato Head with a wig on. YB looks to be, I don't know how tall YB is, but he's kind of my build. But no, I wouldn't fight anybody on the boxing side. I'd use the other channel, fight somebody in and around my size. I'll try and cherry pick as well. I'll try and cherry pick like some bum who I know's not training, who I know hasn't trained. That's what I would try and do. I'll try and be like the Floyd Mayweather of the influencer world. Just cherry pick the shit out of it. I don't really know what Elle Brooke looks like. Who's Elle Brooke? One of them I find kind of grim. Yeah, Elle Brooke's she's not my type either, to be honest. Who's the other one? I think it's Astrid Wet, who I find repulsive, because I don't know who these people are. I see her on my feed all the time. Yes, Astrid Wet. I don't think she's that good looking at all. I'll be honest. Not a fan. Yeah, you know what Tibbs is doing. Tibbs is probably getting his end away. Probably getting his end away. Big up to Tibbsy. I like Mark Tibbs. Facts, Bump of K. I think she's just. I can't put my finger on it, but there's just a weird look to her, and she's a skank as well, which is not attractive. But it's not just that, because I've been with many a skank in my time. But there's something about her that I can't put my finger on it. I just find it really off-putting. It's to do with her face. It's like a potato head, like a weird face, a weird shaped face. It's the only way I can describe it. Basically, yeah. Does an hour video of eating some dirty old man's ass, then wants to kiss guys on stage, yeah. Yeah, football Twitter is degenerate. That's a fucked up scene as well. There's not many, like, I watch some football channels. I watch football channels who are not even Man United related as well. There are some channels I like on football YouTube. So I watch Henry Wright TV, who does Spurs videos. I find that guy funny. Who else do I watch? I watch Lee Gunner as well. Lee Gunner, he kind of cracks me up. Can't lie. I think Man United fan channels are terrible. I don't know all the channels, but I don't think there's many good Man United fan channels. Mark Goldbridge is the biggest, but his content just isn't for me. Who else is there? I don't know who else there is really. Yeah, I see you in the Spurs chat sometimes. Yeah, so I like the. I don't know why. I just find their content good. I like their content. I like their content. Yeah, Henry Wright's a funny guy. Funny guy, and I like Lee Gunner as well. Yeah, I like watching fan channels, rival fan channels when they're going for a bad time though. So I don't watch Man City fan channels, for example. But I like negative fan channels, like guys who are negative. Like Lee Gunner is super negative, for example. I like I like his content. His fucking jokes. I mean, I think Crawford got with his girl when he was young, right? So he's kind of just stuck with her. You got to rate that. You got to rate that. You know, if she's the apple to his eye, then fair enough. She's the apple to his eye, then who are we to complain? But yeah, I don't know, man. Man United fan channels just aren't as fun. They're not as fun. The one I used to watch a bit was Rants and Bants, but I find him a bit fucking. I feel like he's got agendas that, like, even if he's proved wrong, he won't admit it. So it's like, bro, you have your preset agendas anyway, man. It's like, bro, he's a funny guy, but it's like the Mason Mount signing. I'm not convinced either by Mason Mount, but like, Rance is one of those guys. If Mason Mount cooks and he does really well, he'll still say he's shit. He'll still say he's shit. My favourite Tottenham guy, though, is Expressions. That guy's fucking hilarious. KG the Comedian. I know that name. Let me have a look. Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, he's decent. Oh, do you know who's fucking hilarious? Minerals FC. Have you heard that guy? That guy's fucking hilarious. That guy's nuts. He's a Chelsea fan. Because he lost his shit when Mason Mount got sold. It's like, bro, it's so fucking funny. There are some good characters in YouTube football. There are some good characters. But yeah, that Minerals guy is so fucking funny. The guy's a joker. Yeah, that's something. That's interesting. If I ever give up my identity, I'd probably want to do a football channel. I can't lie, just for lols. Bruh, Jimmy, man, that's some fucked up story. That's some fucked up story, bro. I'm not surprised though. There are some complete utter degens out there, so I'm not surprised. One sec. Sorry, I'm typing. My bad. Yeah, that's fucked up, Yumi. I don't know why I held on to that comment for so long. Fucking hell. What fights are there this weekend? Is it only that fucking Golden Boy card where Virgil pulled out? Is that the only one? Has BoxRec been fucked up for you guys recently as well? BoxRec for me has been shit recently. Keeps on wanting me, always wants me to sign in. Whereas beforehand, I could just browse it, no problem. I never recall my BoxRec password. Fuck. I found it. Okay, yeah, Ennis. Ennis is fighting, right? Yeah, Ennis is fighting tonight. Who's on the undercard? I swear there was a fight on the undercard I liked. Hang on. I'm certain there's a fight on the undercard I liked. Or I was looking forward to it for some reason. Oh, he had a Cuban guy at 154, I think. Yolvis Gomez. He's fighting Marquise Taylor. I think he's a good prospect, he is, if you've not seen him. I think he's a solid prospect. Southpaw as well. He knocked out Clay Collard in like one round, who's a tough guy. I think he's a good prospect. He's worth keeping an eye out on. Yolvis Gomez. There's a few Cubans coming through right now who look decent. There's a few. What fights are next weekend? Is there anything next weekend? Josh Kelly's fighting next weekend on DAZN. That's a shit card. Alicia Baumgartner, not interested. Oh, Jermaine Franklin's coming back on that card. On the DAZN card next week. He's coming back. He's fighting Junior Anthony Wright, so that's a standard comeback fight. There's a PBC card next weekend as well. Frank Martin is fighting Artem Harutyunyan, whoever that is. And Elvis Rodriguez on the undercard is fighting Victor Postal. That's a good fight. I know Victor Postal's old now and he's been out for a while, but that's a good fight. That's a decent fight. I swear this Artem guy won a bronze medal or something at the last Olympics. Let's have a look. He won a bronze in the Rio Games, I think. This Artem Harutyunyan. Artem Harutyunyan, that's his name. He won a bronze medal in the 2016 Olympics, and that's who Frank Martin's fighting, so it could be a decent fight. Weird fight to make, really. Sorry, I fired. Well, now the titles are becoming vacant, or could be becoming vacant at 154, depending on what Jamel does. Could be a good time for Josh Kelly to maybe fight for a vacant title. He'll probably lose. Yeah, I like Black and Brown. It's a weird one, so I'm sub to him, but I never check his shit out. But every time I hear the guy on other panels, I like him. I need to check his stuff out. I need to check his stuff out. What's up, Mad Chad? How you doing, bro? Gassiev needs to get active, bro. I like Gassiev a lot, and I rate him, and I think he can do damage at heavyweight if he's active, but he needs a few fights, man. It's hard to say. I think he could beat White. I think he could knock out White. I really do. When he first went to heavyweight, I was very excited about Gassiev. I was telling people, don't rule this guy out. But injuries, promotional issues, it's kind of set him back. He's not even 30 yet, though, I don't think. I still think he's quite young. All right, Gassiev. Let's have a look. He's only 29 years old still, Gassiev. He's only 29 years old. That's insane. But I think he could do damage. If I was looking at Gassiev, I'd like to chuck him in there against a Carlos Takam, for example, for his next fight. Maybe even a slight step up from that. Maybe Otto Wallin. See where he's at. See where he's at. I've got hiccups. Sorry. See where he's at. That'd be a good little test for him, I think. Like Otto Wallin. But I think he could do some work at heavyweight. I do. I think he could do some work. Oh, who the fuck is texting me this time of night? I feel like I sound like a proper old man. Who's texting me this time of night? Sorry, one sec. Yeah, I think Villa is a good test for Boots as well. Coming off a good win over Rashidi Ellis, good form, coming in, confidence, etc. It'll be interesting to see whether Villa can stick on Boots' chest early on, catch him with some shit, see how he reacts. I've got a feeling he'll get stopped mid rounds, but I think it's a solid fight for Boots right now. I'm not going to say it's amazing, but it's solid enough. It's decent. It's decent. Yeah, Gassiev's become a ghost, man. Facts. A fight I'd love to see. I know it would never happen. Would be Gassiev against Makhmudov. That'd be a fucking silly fight. Gassiev against Franklin would be a good fight. Yeah, but yeah, the guy Franklin's coming back against is a journeyman. I like Franklin though. I thought he made a really good account of himself in the UK. He came across like a good dude. Came across like a real good dude. So I hope he does well. I hope he wins that fight. I think he will do. Hope he wins that fight and yeah, gets a couple of good fights in the future. Yeah, I always thought Gassiev would smash Bellew, and even some of the current heavyweights, but the global pandemic, Russian war, injuries, promotional issues have almost killed his career. Yeah, the only upside is that he's only 29. That's the only upside. But I could easily see him cleaning out Dillian White. He's got the power to. I always go back to an interview I saw with Chris Arreola. And this was after Chris Arreola fought Vitaly Klitschko, Deontay Wilder, etc. And he said, he was asked, who's the hardest punching guy you've ever fought or sparred with? I expected him to say Deontay or Vitaly. And he said, no, it's Murat Gassiev. He said he's the heaviest-handed guy he's ever shared a ring with. This was when Gassiev was still at cruiserweight. So I'm assuming when he was sparring Chris Arreola, he wasn't cut down to his cruiserweight weight. He was kind of sparring in his natural weight. His power will carry to heavyweight, Gassiev. His power will carry. His power will definitely carry. The only thing with Gassiev is he's a little bit one-paced. And sometimes his setups are kind of basic. That kind of, he does the same thing over and over. I'd like to see it, though. I think that would be a good fight for him. Yeah, I also saw Arreola say that about Gassiev. Yeah, Gassiev is a real puncher. He's got real power. That's when I realised Usyk's chin was fucking elite. I know he didn't catch Usyk with much, but there was one round he caught Usyk with, I think it was a left hook, and it was a flush punch. And Usyk took it. Yeah, Gassiev definitely made good money in the Super Series, but he's just in a weird position right now. Fuck the politics. If I was a promoter, I'd sign that guy. And have him fight actively on the undercards for a while. Get him some momentum. I think he's worth taking a punt on. I really do. I think he's worth taking a punt on. I kind of feel it's kind of shit when a career like that gets wasted due to external circumstances. But it is what it is. That's the nature of boxing. It's always been that way, right? We've always seen that with fighters. Unfortunately, we've always seen that with fighters. So, what can you do? Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Gassiev's under 30 and has got some time and talents. He might be a dark horse. There's a reason as to why none of these top heavyweights have offered to fight him. Yeah, facts. Because he's not highly ranked right now. He's dangerous. He's still somewhat unknown. He's unknown to casuals at least. So yeah, these guys are not going to fight him. They're not going to fight him. And I'm wondering if he's going to struggle to get ranked because of his Russian heritage. I think Gassiev has claimed Armenian heritage since the war. I'm assuming that's in a bid to try and get himself ranked. I'm assuming that's in a bid to try and get ranked. See if he's ranked anywhere. 1 second. I want to see if he's ranked anywhere. Okay, WBO. Is he in the WBO? No, he's not. He's not in the WBO. IBF? He's 11 in the IBF, Gassiev. He is in the IBF. He's not in the WBC. He's 11 in the WBA as well, so he is ranked. So he can climb the rankings. He'll have to look at the rankings and try and get a guy who needs to fight, like maybe an Otto Wallin who's ranked ahead of him, for example, in the IBF. That's the sort of fight I think he needs to try and get. Kabayel is another sort of guy who would make sense for Gassiev. Jarrell Miller is ranked number 6, by the way, in the WBA. Miller versus Gassiev, let's get it. Take that fight. Miller could be a good shout because Miller's not exactly a guy who has loads of options right now due to his past. Miller versus Gassiev. Miller would probably take that fight. I'd love to see it. Miller versus Gassiev is the one I want. Like Porky Fury says, Gassiev still has plenty of time, just like Huey Fury, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Jimmy. Yeah, like there are so many countries right now who are committing horrendous acts upon populations, and nothing gets said. But yeah, when it comes to this war, now it matters all of a sudden. But yeah, like you say, Israel doing what they're doing to Palestine, Saudis dropping bombs on Yemen, plus our own foreign interventions in the past in Iraq, Afghanistan. Nothing gets said about that, but like when it comes to Russian fighters, yeah, we got to ban these guys and make it hard for them. It's crazy. I think so. Crazy D3, especially Dillian White, but even Josh. I think both guys would retire if they lose. I think that's what Dillian. That's why Dillian is taking this fight. I think he sees this as his last cash out. Because if he loses to Joshua again, which I think he will do, what else is there for Dillian White in regards to semi-significant paydays? What else is there? A third Chisora fight? Maybe. But really, there's not much there for Dillian at 34, 35 years old, whatever he is. I hope house prices drop. I hope they drop. What weight would Julian Jackson's power have translated to? Well, he started at middleweight, right? Or light middleweight. Light middleweight, I think. Yeah, light middleweight. I think his power would have probably carried to 168. Light heavyweight, maybe not. Maybe not light heavyweight, but definitely 168. Yeah, probably will. Probably will. That's a good point, yeah. That is a good point. Like, what are the Ukrainian talent doing right now in boxing? Obviously, they've not been able to resume their careers. We're talking about the amateurs here. We're not talking about pros. That's a good point. Yeah, you probably got a generation of super talented fighters that their careers have been taken due to what's going on. It's a good point. Yeah, probably going to be a lack of fighters from that area in the next few years coming over, like turning pro. They still have some good like elite amateurs though. They still have some like good elite amateurs. Like Kizniak, for example. Alexander Kizniak is probably the best right now. He's at, I think he's at, is it middleweight or light heavyweight, something like that. So he's a good fighter. He's a good talent, but he's 27, I think, 26, 27, 28. So he needs to turn over if he's going to turn pro. There's also a kid, I think, at super welterweight who's pretty good, but I forget his name. Yeah, Prime AFTV was great. Yeah, I agree, Jimmy. Yeah, the only fight I could see him taking would be a third Chisora fight. Probably not, bro. Probably not. Probably not. He'd lose for speed, JD. He'd lose for speed at 45, and that's what makes his power true. Is his speed, how quickly he throws that right hand. And if he's 45, he's going to lose that speed. He'll still hit hard, but yeah, he won't. Plus, the reactions are going to be fucked. What's up, John McSmith? How you doing, bro? How you doing, man? What shall we have for dinner tonight, by the way? I might just cook myself some fucking might do a bit of steak. Couple of bits of steak, eggs, some chips or fries, as the Americans say. Might do a bit of steak. Bit of bloody rare steak. That's what I'm fancying right now. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good, John. I'm very good. As good as I can be, at least. Could always be better, but pretty good. So I think obviously, so for free fight deal is Jamel. I want to say Andrade. No, Jamel Jamal, and then Benavidez. That's what I think is going to happen. Jamel Jamal and Benavidez. Sometimes, listen, man. Sometimes you have to treat yourself. I get you though. Yeah, I do get you. But yeah, I'm going to just treat myself. Bit of steak, eggs, some fries, bang. I'll be healthier. Fucking, it's a weekend, right? I'll be healthier in the week. I have done a better job of eating healthier though. Like I've been eating a lot more fish recently, like buying like tuna steaks and things like that, salmon, and just having it with like rice, pan frying it, just having it with rice. I don't use oil. Yeah, I don't use oil. Fuck using, especially like vegetable oil. That shit's terrible for you. I swear they made vegetable oil originally to like use as lubricant to grease up like machines and shit. That shit's fucking terrible for you. Olive oil's good for you. Olive oil's good for you, man. I like olive oil. I heard it's Jamel Benavidez and the winner of Andrade Jamal. I'd be happy with that. What kind of eggs do I use? No, I make my own chips. I make my own. As for eggs, I just buy like relatively expensive ones. I think eggs is one of those things where when you buy them more expensive, you actually get you can notice the difference in taste. There are certain foods you can go cheap and you can't really tell. Eggs is not one of them. Eggs is not one of them. So I spend money on eggs. I spend a bit, probably more than I should on eggs. Yeah, same. As for oil, I'm the exact same. I only use olive oil, and it tastes great as well. Oh right, so it depends how I'm feeling, bro. I fry eggs, scramble eggs, boil eggs. Yeah, I do it all. And as for scrambled eggs, I use milk and butter. Yeah, when I was a kid, my neighbors had fucking chickens, and they always used to give us eggs, and the difference in quality was so fucking vast. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like proper eggs, fresh proper eggs. Unbelievable. True that as well. Yeah, it's better for the animals, but they just taste so much better. It's the yolk. You like the yolk just tastes so much more. I don't know how to explain it. Rich. Just tastes rich, more rich, a richer flavor. I can eat eggs for days, but I love eggs. Do what you want with eggs. I'll eat it. Stay away from Tunisian oil. It's pure shit. I don't think you can. I've never seen that out here. Tunisian oil. I've never seen it. Yeah, cheap sausages is another one. Yeah, I got a butcher's round the corner from here, and honestly, the food, like the quality of meat, is so fucking good. So fucking good. It's expensive, so I don't go in there much. But it's so fucking. I treat myself in there. It's so fucking good. You get like the best of everything in there: steak, like lamb, all that good stuff. Plus, you get like burgers, sausages, all that stuff. and it's all amazing, amazing food. Yeah, facts, Jimmy. No, that's good for you, man. It's a good bit of steak's good for you. Maybe fucking forget the chips. Forget the chips, but dairy. So I'm the same. Apart from butter, and sometimes I cook with butter. It depends what I'm cooking, but I rarely cook with butter, but sometimes I do. That's really the only dairy I have because I drink coffee black, no sugar, just black coffee. I don't really use dairy like that. I don't have like I don't eat bread, so I don't use sandwiches. I don't eat sandwiches. Yeah, I don't use much dairy either. Yeah, they're grim, bro. They're fucking nasty. They're one of those foods like that's like survival apocalypse food. When the world's actually fucked up and we're all living like cavemen again. If you find a can of them, you'll just about eat them. You'll be yeah, they'll just about do. Yeah, big up to Big Say So, by the way. One of the like coolest guys on here. One of the chillest guys on the YTBC. Stop eating rice and potatoes and you'll look and feel better. Is it just the starch that fucks you up? Because I can't lie, I don't notice it with rice when I eat rice. But when I eat potatoes, I do feel myself. It's like they just make me feel lethargic, kind of thing. After I've eaten them, I get that a lot with potatoes. There are certain things though. There are certain foods. I think we all know intrinsically what foods we agree with and what foods we don't. I know what foods I respond well to, so I respond well to meat. Pause, especially fish, especially fish. Believe it or not, I'm not. I can. Pasta's one of those things. I can take it or leave it. Okay. Spikes your blood sugar level. That's the problem. Okay. Yeah, I definitely feel the consequences of it after I've eaten potatoes, but I don't seem to get that same thing with rice for some reason. It's weird. Pasta though, pasta makes me feel fucking just completely fucking kills me. Chicken paste, yeah, bro. Chicken paste sandwiches, yep. At school, I remember they came in those little fucking jars, those little glass jars. So there was like chicken paste, there was like tuna paste. What else was there? There was a few. There was a few. Yeah, I should do right. Right. No, as a kid though, it's weird. It's weird. The liquor. As a kid, I didn't mind them, but I think it's one of those things. If I go back and taste it now, I'd fucking despise it. I'd fucking despise it. But I used to have those sandwiches a lot as a kid. Paste, yeah, like chicken paste or tuna paste, whatever it was. I think it's tuna paste or sardine paste, whatever it was. Yeah, salmon paste. Yeah, yeah, what, bro? Yeah, wheat does definitely take an effect on me, no doubt. That's why I genuinely actively avoid bread. I'll treat myself on certain things on a semi-regular basis, but I know what kind of fucks me up. I know what reduces my energy, and bread is one of them. Bread, pastry, things like that. That kind of fucks me up. Pasta. I forgot the last time I had a sandwich. Genuinely forgot. Same, bro. I hated it, but you had to eat what you was given. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, facts. Facts. And I've said this on stream before. So back in the day when I was growing up, there were certain cuts of meat that were deemed as cheap and like just cheap and like not the not the part of the animal that you should buy or whatever. And so things like oxtail, for example, when I was a kid, that cut of meat was very cheap, and we used to have that a lot in stews and things like that. Oxtail. But these days, the hipsters have completely taken oxtail and made it expensive because for some reason they've taken a liking to it and they've made it super expensive. Oxtail was always good, but people turned their nose up at it. Oxtail stew is fucking lovely. Oxtail's fucking amazing. And like those sort of cuts of meat, like back in the day, were deemed as nasty kind of thing or whatever, but they're not. They're just people are just ignorant. Cheese spread, yep. I had cheese spread as well, yeah. Cheese spread wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. But yeah, I had cheese spread sandwiches, yep. Fucking hell, yeah. Oh, we won the under 21s, nice. Hopefully though, they need to fulfill that in the they have to carry that on though to the actual men's game, right? It's good to see, but listen, I want to see that shit in a real tournament. Yeah, oxtails are very gelatinous and good for your joints. Yeah, very often though, it's those parts of the meat that are really good for you. It's like they say like what is it? Like the pig's head. If you've eaten like pig head, like meat from pig's head, that shit apparently is really good for you. And like certain parts of animals that people like turn their nose up at, they contain like unique properties that really help you out. Bruv, I'm not even sure who's at Wimbledon these days. I stopped following tennis a few years ago. All I know now is Djokovic is still the man. Like Djokovic is still going strong, but most of the old school boys, like Federer's retired, Nadal is getting towards the end. I don't know, man. I barely know anyone outside of Nadal and Djokovic. You're not a pork guy. I like pork now and again. It's my least favorite meat, I have to admit. But now and again, it's nice. Now and again. Liver, onions, and gravy as a kid. Yeah, I did as well. I know liver's super good for you, but I never liked liver. I never liked that taste. It's kind of a I don't know. I can't explain it. It's got a unique taste. I don't like liver. I'll eat it if I'm given it. I'll eat it, but it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite. Heart meat is good though. If you've had heart meat, that's good. Heart meat is good. Nando's chicken livers are elite. I'm surprised Nando's sell chicken liver. I have a lot of bacon. I'll have to cut down in a few years if I don't want bowel cancer. I swear that shit probably works as well, though, Jimmy. The men in my family in the old days would eat bull testicles to help promote testosterone and fertility in men. Fucking grim. It sounds fucked up, right? But I guarantee they probably cooked it up nice. It's probably nice. Pork is shite. I don't eat it. Yeah, pork tends to be, from what I've gathered from my experiences, I think it seems to be like people's least favorite meat. It's certainly my least favorite. Now and again I'll cook it, but I probably eat pork like 5 or 6 times a year. Like I barely even eat bacon now. I barely eat bacon now. Yeah, it's not my favorite. Lamb is my favorite meat. I love lamb. Lamb is fucking immense. Lamb is so good. Lamb seems to be one of those meats that just holds seasoning really well. I like beef as well. Beef is fucking elite. Beef is elite. But I think lamb is just the top draw of meat. Bruv, lamb is amazing, Duck. I don't know what you're talking about, but it holds the seasoning so well. Yeah, lamb is very expensive in England. I think it's like the most expensive meat right now out here. It's like more expensive than beef and shit. Like beef, you can still get like decent. You can still get decent beef for decent money, but like lamb, you can't. Honestly, one of my favorite things to do with lamb, because it's super easy, is like lamb shanks. What I will do with it, usually I'll cook it, I'll sear it and whatnot, and I'll just slow cook it for like several hours. I love lamb shank when it just falls off the bone. Fucking amazing. But I like all lamb, bro. I could eat any part of a lamb. I'll eat. Yeah, like they know how to cook lamb, like the Middle East. They know how to cook lamb. I said it before, like Turkish food. I think Turkish food is like some of the most underrated food around. And it's good for me because I love lamb and they cook a lot of lamb, so it's Gucci. I love Turkish food. It's one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite cuisine. I'll be honest, or one of them at least. It's top 3 for me. I like a good Indian as well. I do like a good Indian. See, that sounds amazing, especially on like a winter's day. Sounds amazing. Slow cooked, yeah, it sounds amazing. But yeah, lamb shanks are good. Lamb shanks are good. Anyway, all this talk of food's making me hungry, so I'm gonna cook myself some. I'm gonna cook myself some steak. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. All that good shit. I'll try and stream a bit more regularly, and I'll try and upload more regular, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, have a great weekend. Peace.